homestand has been about grinding out innings and giving their team a chance to win. Combined with an offense that can change the game with one swing, the Astros have hit the quarter pole with the best record in team history. Today they send their ace to the mound. They continue to break new ground. The homestand finale is next. From Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Root Sports brings you Houston Astros baseball. Today it's the finale of this 9-game homestand and the rubber game of this 3-game series between the Houston Astros and the Oakland Athletics. Good afternoon. Bill Brown and Alan Ashby. Julia Morales joins us shortly to talk about this Astros homestand. They continue to set the pace in the American League with the best winning percentage. And in fact, they have their best percentage and best record for the first 40 games of any season in Astros history, Ash.
And Bronny, I think it's just gotten better and better. 6-2 on the homestand. The Giants came in. They lost the first game. And they had been stumbling a little bit, but they have turned it around after winning that second of 2 against the Giants.
Well, they've unleashed the bats. And the home runs have been powerful.
Unleash the bats in the home run sense, and Jason Castro has hit 3 on the stand. Valbuena, he continues to be the guy that leads the club in long balls, but there are plenty of other guys contributing in that sense. Jose Altuve, for instance, as he hit it, a very big bomb. Chris Carter just took a little teensy fly swing and yet jacked one to right center field. Colby Rasmus keeps on coming up with big swings. There's Mr. Castro again. He can't get himself out of the act as the Astros keep on winning via the long ball.
So we take a look at the homestand comparison, and it's brought to you by Jack in the Box, taking us inside the box score and showing you the Astros picking up the pace at home offensively.
You know, the number that really jumps at me is the 15 home runs for the Astros on the homestand versus 22 in the previous home games. There have been times when it's felt like the bats have been quiet, but they hit 230 on the homestand. They're scoring 4.5 runs a game, and they've been so good when they do score 4 runs or more. Record 6-2. As we talk about it, on base percentage below the league average, but they've got their own style of winning games, and all you care about is the W's.
It's a unique style, and the fans are loving it. Coming up, shades of gray. The Astros faced a stern test last night, and they passed it with flying colors. So exactly how did they manage to beat the American League's ERA leader? Julia Morales and A.J. Hinch explain when we come back.
Back to Minute Maid Park this afternoon. The Astros and A's wrapping up a 3-game series, and the Astros looking to take another series. This is after beating Sonny Gray last night, a tough Friday for the Oakland A's. They came in with a plan, and it worked, getting 7 hits over 5 innings for the right-hander. game series, and the Astros looking to take another series. This is after beating Sonny Gray last night, a tough righty for the Oakland A's. They came in with a plan, and it worked, getting 7 hits over 5 innings for the right-hander. They were getting to the bullpen early. It's exactly what they wanted to do. Here's A.J. Hinch, the skipper, with our Geico quote of the day.
The whole night was set up by how we approached Sonny Gray. You know, one of the best pitchers in our league. First time we've seen him this season, but we were really locked in and with a real disciplined approach on how to attack him, and got him up to 100 pitches in 5 innings. Carter with the big homer. I was really happy with our approach on a tough night against a tough pitcher, and I think that set us up later in the game, obviously to get into their bullpen, but also just the quality of bats of the first 5 innings turned into really quality at bats in the latter innings.
You heard A.J. wanted to be more disciplined. That's exactly what they did. Hitting coach Dave Hudgens very pleased with what he saw from the hitters, and they look to do it again today as the Astros go for the series win. Phase the music. This will be fun. Dallas Keuchel and the Houston Astros trying to bring down the A's and win their 7th game on the homestand. Can Dallas keep the best start in team history rolling? We'll have lineups and first pitch after the break.
Dallas Keuchel and his teammates running out in the white uniforms for the final game of this longest homestand of the season so far. Things continue to go exceptionally well for the Astros, who are 26-14 with a 5.5 game lead in the AL West on the Angels. The Astros have the best winning percentage in the American League, and Keuchel is 5-0. His ERA is the best now in the American League at 1.87. That's the best start for an Astros pitcher since Roger Clemens started the season 9-0. Here's the starting lineup now for the visiting Oakland A's. They're 14-27, 12.5 games off the lead pace being set by the Astros. Their leadoff man is center fielder Billy Burns, with Marcus Semien, the shortstop, batting second. Right fielder Josh Reddick hits third. Then it's the DH Billy Butler, Brett Laurie at third base, Josh Fegley the catcher today, Mark Canha at first base, Craig Gentry in left field, and Eric Sogard at second base.
Dallas Keuchel on the mound, as Brownie said, and so the Astros trying to take 2 out of 3 here in this series with the A's. He had 5 strikeouts in his most recent start. That'll win over the Toronto Blue Jays, working 6 innings and allowing 8 hits and 4 runs in that ball game. Back-to-back games allowing 4 earnings for Dallas, so he hasn't been on his game as much as he would like to be. We'll see if he can turn that back the way he enjoys it best here this afternoon. Numbers on Dallas on the season: 8 starts, 5-0, could be 6-0, 7-0. Either way, he's been really, really good. And his first Astros starter, by the way, to go 5-0 since 2004 when Roger Clemens did it, and that's not a bad guy to match up with.
Billy Burns, a switch hitting center fielder, gets it going. Burns is on a 6-game hitting streak. His average .339. Valbuena, the third baseman's in tight, as is Carter at first base, and there's strike one to Burns. Burns at .339. Has been very good at reaching base, and he can make things happen with steals when he does get on base. That pitch on appeal to the first base umpire is a strike. Paul Emmel with the call at first. Jerry Meals, the crew chief, is the home plate umpire.
Just kind of flips the bat out there and goes through the plate.
Burns has had 59 at bats. And he swings and misses, striking out. 1 out for Dallas Keuchel on his 43rd strikeout of the season.
Keeps working that way. He won't need the D, but they're out there anyway. Outfield, left to right, Colby Rasmus, Jake Marisnick, and George Springer. Left side of the infield, Luis Valbuena and Marwin's out there at shortstop. Jose Altuve and Chris Carter make up the right side. Jason Castro behind the dish.
Marcus Semien bats. He's on a 7-game hitting streak. Semien takes, and there's strike one. .313, 6 homers, 15 runs batted in for Semien, with a couple of hits in this series. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Keuchel dialed up a great game in Oakland against Scott Kazmir April 24th, but he got a no decision despite 9 innings of 2-hit shutout baseball. That one goes foul. The Astros won that one in the 11th. That was part of a string of 15 consecutive shutout innings pitched. He beat the Angels here the start before that. In 3 of his 8 starts, he has not allowed a run, going at least 6 innings in all of those. Ground ball into left field. Semien's aboard, and he has an 8-game hitting streak.
Yeah, nothing but fastballs so far, trying to work the outside edge. Dallas Keuchel kind of going with his strength part of the game to start the afternoon.
He's an extreme ground ball guy.
Leaves this one a little up and right through the heart of the plate, and pretty much a cookie for Semien to jump on. You can see the kind of wry smile on the face of Dallas after the base hit, and I think he knows he might have gotten away with one.
Josh Reddick bats next. Strike one to Reddick, a .315 hitter with 6 homers and 29 runs batted in, ranking him in the top 10 in the American League. 1 hit for Josh in this series and an RBI. Infield shifted around. Keuchel misses, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count in Dallas's career. In 2 starts, he's 1-0 against Oakland with a 0.73 ERA. Tied for second in wins in the American League with 5. A swing by Reddick takes the count to 1-2 with Billy Butler on deck. Keuchel's won 7 in a row dating back to last year. That's a new career high for him. He strikes out Reddick. 2 outs.
Pretty abusive right there by Dallas Keuchel. Started to go to the changing speed style, the big breaking ball to finish off Reddick. That was a tough at bat.
Billy Butler follows at .267. Butler has gone deep 4 times while driving in 21. Billy's 2 for 8 in this series. Jose Altuve shades him up the middle. Keuchel falls behind 1-0 on Butler. Keuchel's ground ball to fly ball ratio of 3.96 to 1 leads the American League. Just off the outside corner. That runs it to 2-0 on Butler, who signed as a free agent over the winter with this Oakland club. After spending his entire career with Kansas City, he was a first-round pick in 04 of the Royals. Drove in 66 for them last year. Keuchel now goes to 3-0 on Butler. The Athletics are third in runs scored in the American League with 184. There's the ratio for Keuchel. A lot of work on the ground, and these infielders have been solid behind him.
Pure boredom if you're an outfielder.
Strike, and it's 3-1.
Find guys out there with their cell phones checking what's going on.
Astros pitchers are fourth best in ERA in the American League. Keuchel deals. That's ball 4. Butler takes the free pass, and Laurie comes up. 2 men on for Laurie. A .268 hitter with 2 homers, 16 runs batted in. Well, Keuchel has the immediate challenge here with Fegley on deck. Brett Laurie, 25 years old, is 4 for 8 in this series with 2 runs batted in. Laurie's hitting .314 in the month of May. There's strike 1 to him. Against lefties, Brett has been held to a .176 batting average, 6 for 34 this season. That's a little foul ball on the ground. No balls, 2 strikes. So it was a revolving third base situation for Laurie and Josh Donaldson. Josh going to Toronto and Laurie coming into Oakland to replace him.
That's a tough assignment if you're the young third baseman Brett Laurie coming in to take over for Josh Donaldson. Laurie is a talented player, but I think he's got a lot of work left to fulfill there.
Keuchel comes in but misses, and it's 1-2. Dallas has been reliable at keeping the hitters off those outside pitches by moving the ball inside.
Didn't miss by much with that one. Well spotted.
Ground ball. Marwin Gonzalez. Jose Altuve for the force on Butler. No runs, 1 hit, 2 men stranded. Nothing for Oakland. Houston coming up against Jesse Hahn. Lineup for AJ brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Jose Altuve is the second baseman, last year's batting champ, leading it off with Luis Valbuena following at third base. George Springer's the right fielder. The DH and cleanup man is Evan Gattis, followed by left fielder Colby Rasmus, first baseman Chris Carter, catcher Jason Castro, shortstop Marwin Gonzalez, center fielder Jake Marisnick.
On the mound for the A's, Jesse Hahn, 25-year-old right-hander. working with his second major league club now in a couple of years. Padres last year, and of course now the Oakland A's, 8th start of the year, and he's given up 10 earned runs over his last 10 1/3 innings. So he's been roughed up a bit here lately, and the Astros would love to continue that trend. 21 games in the big leagues, 19 as a starter, 8 and 7 overall.
Jose Altuve, first man up for Houston, is 2 for 8 in this series. He snapped an 0 for 13 last night. He was 0 for 2 his first 2 times up. Then he had a pair of hits, going 2 for 5 in the game. Hahn, like Keuchel, is a ground ball pitcher. The sinker's a big pitch for him. That's ball 1. 319 for Altuve. 5 homers and a club high 24 runs batted in. Now it's a 2-ball, no strike count to Altuve. Jose's hit .400 against Oakland pitching this year with a couple of homers, 5 runs batted in. Fouled, and it's 2-1. The Astros have won 23 of their last 32. Their 26-14 record is the best they've ever had for the first 40 games of a season. A.J. Hinch, the new skipper, has watched a very good show through 40 games. Breaking pitch takes the count to 3-1. Hahn has come back from a blister problem, and his last 4 starts after the blister, which forced him to miss 11 days, he's 0-2 with a 6.23 ERA. That speaks to what you said earlier.
So it also says he got off to a nice start on the season.
He did. One hopper. There's Laurie throwing across to first base for out number 1.
And again, and we'll talk about the defense here for the Oakland A's. Brett Laurie knows no throw that he can't throw on the run. Outfield left to right, Craig Gentry, Billy Burns, and Josh Reddick. Left side of the infield for the A's, Brett Laurie and Marcus Semien. On the right, it's Eric Sogard and Mark Canha. And Josh Phegley gets the start here in Game 3 of the series.
Luis Valbuena, the club leader in homers with 10, comes up next. Valbuena is 1 for 3 with a walk in this series. He did not play in the opener of the series Monday night. 6-game hitting streak for Luis. And there's strike 1. He has 1 hit in each of the last 6 games, so not a torrid streak. 6 for 22. But he's dangerous with the 10 long balls. He takes that pitch for a ball, and it's 1-1. The Astros lead the majors in homers with 60 in their first 40 games. They unloaded 3 more last night in winning 6-4. 1-2 to Valbuena, the former Chicago Cub. He's hit .306 against Oakland for his career. This is the first time the Astros have faced Jesse Hahn, who's 25 years old, from Norwich, Connecticut. He went to Virginia Tech.
Hitters on the bench. In fact, all the Astros hitters got to look at a pretty good over-the-top curveball.
2 balls, 2 strikes. He's listed at 6'5". Tampa Bay drafted Hahn in the 6th round in 2010. Traded him to San Diego prior to last year, and then another trade brought him to Oakland. 1 hopper back to Hahn. 2 outs for Jesse. And George Springer will follow. The Astros are hitting .229 as a team. And yet they've scored 176 runs, which is 6th best in the American League. Springer has scored 17 of those while hitting .185. He's gone deep 6 times, driving in 15. He's 3rd in the league in walks with 26.
Because of the walks, he does have a chance to score a bunch of runs. I'm not sure he's going to drive in a lot of runs the way he's approaching the hitting side.
There's strike 1 to George.
That's the swing we'd all love to see. Start opening that thing up, but now contact has to be applied.
He has 5 walks in his last 8 plate appearances. Takes the breaking pitch. 1-1 to Springer. He walked twice last night, and on one of those occasions he was behind in the count, 0-2. It's a 2-ball 1-strike count. Hahn has walked 9 in 40 innings. Springer fouls one away. It's 2-2 to George with Evan Gattis on deck.
It's a good looking swing. Let's see if we can take a peek at his back foot. What's it doing at impact? Oh, that's good. A very good position. Ball's getting a little deep on George, and maybe the reason he's hitting a lot of balls to center, and right field.
It's a full count.
Even when George Springer is struggling, pitchers are going to be fearful of that power he wields.
Springer bounces one foul off his leg. The Astros are 5-3 against the A's this season, but Oakland has given them fits. Their overall record since these two teams started playing each other is Houston with 18 wins, Oakland with 34 wins. Bob Melvin, the skipper, is outstanding. The A's have not done well in day games. They haven't done well, period, at 14-27. In one-run games, they're 2-13, but they did take the opener of this series by 1 run, 2-1. That's on appeal. It's a strikeout. No, it wasn't an appeal. Jerry Meals just called it, and that ends the first inning. Hahn gets a punch out, and it's 0-0 after 1.
Performances, but Josh Feldman, Scott Feldman, excuse me, not a bad place to start. He has been battling, and last time out battled his way into a W, as did Colin McHugh. I think in both cases, maybe not their best stop early in the ball game, but persevered and got the W's. And then Lance McCullers comes on and really showed us some big time stuff and battled to get himself in that 5th inning. And so Roberto Hernandez, as he's worked out of the 5 spot in the rotation, these guys have been quite good, and the Astros need that to continue.
Dallas Keuchel on the mound, no score. Josh Phegley in the box. He fouls it, strike 1 on the backup catcher for the A's. 237, 1 homer, 4 runs batted in for Phegley. Stephen Vogt started the first 2 games of the series. Vogt is among the league leaders in some offensive departments. Bats left. Phegley, the right-handed hitter, against the lefty Keuchel, getting the call today. Phegley, formerly with the White Sox, is 27 years old. He's from Terre Haute, Indiana, and Indiana University. Swings at that one, falls behind, 0-2 in the count. The A's move on into Tampa Bay for their next series on this road trip, while the Astros open in Detroit tomorrow. They have a noon game.
You going to be on that first bus or the second?
Well, you and Jeff Blum will be on the first one, and Julia is always on the first one, right? I'll be watching.
She cabs out prior to the first bus.
Does
so
she?
yeah.
You guys are really hustling. Tap to Valbuena's left. 1 out. Well, it's going to be an interesting series with the Astros and Tigers. The AL Central is looking like a hotly contested division this year, Ash.
Tigers just year after year in recent times look really good. The Kansas City Royals have been dynamite to this point. So yeah, it should be an intriguing division. How about the Twins? They've played better than expected.
Much better. Paul Molitor getting rave reviews for his work as the new skipper.
And then there are the Indians who are falling well below expectations.
Yeah, they've been crazy disappointing. That's ball one to Mark Canha. Fouled away. Well, let's go back to opening day when the Indians were here, and it was Dallas Keuchel on the mound, winning it 2-0. And Corey Kluber was his mound opponent. And Corey started the season 0-5.
It's hard to figure, and we saw great stuff on that first day from Kluber.
We did. Ooh. Yeah, he takes a close one. 2 balls and a strike. That's the way the season began with Keuchel on the mound. First opening day start. Cleveland won 2 of 3 in that series. And at that point, it appeared that Terry Francona's club, which was selected by Sports Illustrated to win the World Series, was going to be strong. But now the Astros, against some of the top pitchers, have fared very well this season, including last night beating Sonny Gray. Bouncer Keuchel, who leads all pitchers in total chances, he turns that into out number 2. So with Sonny Gray last night, that was one of their most impressive outings of the season. And he went 5 innings and gave up 3 earned runs. You see Kluber and Jared Weaver and some of the other top pitchers. Garrett Richards with outstanding stuff. James Shields. But the Astros have won their share of those games and then some.
Yeah, it's tough to do 8-3 in that span against some really tough pitching. Guys who have been top of the end pitchers since 2010.
Craig Gentry, the former Texas Ranger, looks at it. It's strike 1 to Gentry. Starting in left field with an .086 batting average, 3 for 35. He just returned from the minor leagues to rejoin this Oakland club. Keuchel with good range off the mound. Toss it to Carter. 3 ground ball outs in the second inning for Dallas. No score. Presented by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Jack in the Box. Jack's hottest sandwich is back. Head to Jack in the Box for Jack's Blazing Chicken Sandwich. At Minute Maid Park in Houston, where the Astros are 14-10, there's no score. The Athletics have one hit. The Astros were retired in order by Jesse Hahn in the first. Evan Gattis leads it off in the home second. Gattis brings a 193 average into this one. He has 7 homers, 22 runs batted in. Jesse Hahn delivers, and there's ball 1 to Gattis. He's hit well against Oakland this year. Evan had 321 against the A's. With a homer, 7 runs batted in. 2 for 7 in this series. Jammed on that one, pops it up. And the left fielder, Gentry, a towering fly ball, takes care of out number 1. Jesse Hahn's retired 4 in a row, and now it's Colby Rasmus. Colby has hit his 8th home run, driven in 16. That was last night, a 2-run shot in the 8th. He also had a double. And the Astros rallied with 3 in the 8th inning. They wound up winning at 6-4. They took a 6-2 lead to the 9th. Rasmus fouls it back, strike 1. Their closer, Luke Gregerson, was roughed up last night, giving up 2 hits and 2 runs, walking 2 in 2/3 of an inning. The lead was down to 2. There was a man on. He was pulled from the game. Pat Neshek came in to get the final out on Billy Burns. 0-2, and Gregerson is getting a day off today. The skipper A.J. Hinch said he's thrown 70 pitches in 4 days.
It's been very fortunate, though, when Gregerson has had a tough time as the closer. The Astros have still had enough to pick up the win. In those days when the closer lets one get away and you go back to the clubhouse and everybody's quiet and tries to make sure not to make too big of a fuss, it starts to wear on you as a little time goes by.
Infield plays Rasmus to pull. Canna's near the line at first. 1-2 to Colby. Seems to be settling in and quite comfortable here with his new team this year after playing for the Cardinals and Toronto Blue Jays. Rasmus fouls it. Chris Carter's on deck. This is the only day game in the majors. Tonight the Rangers will be in Boston to face the Red Sox. Seattle's at Baltimore. Yankees and Washington Nationals. That's an interesting series. They'll play tonight in Washington. Bouncer to first. Glove by Canna. And the toss to Hahn. 2 outs. Tigers play tonight against Milwaukee in Detroit. Shane Green will pitch for Brad Ausmus against Kyle Loesch in that game. Hey, you guys might go out, Ash.
Well, you have something reserved for us or what?
Yeah. Ticket for you at Comerica Park tonight.
Well, I'll bet you Julia might find her way out there.
She'll be there. Chris Carter with 7 homers, 18 runs batted in, has a 163 batting average. He went deep last night, a 2-run homer. Ball 1 to Carter. Carter's hit .217 on this homestand. 2 homers in his last 4 games. 5 long balls in the month of May. That's tied for 2nd in the American League. Chris runs the count to 2-0. That's in for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. So we're at the quarter pole of the season. 40 games played by a lot of teams, or close to 40 at this point. What do you make of the quarter pole for the Houston Astros, Ash?
Well, thoroughly impressed with the way the ball club has come together under first-year manager A.J. Hinch, and I am probably as impressed with A.J. himself as anything involving the ball club. But the home runs shouldn't be a surprise. And yet the way the Astros are winning feels a bit surprising at times. They just power their way through opponents.
Semien throws low and safe at first, and Semien now has his 16th error of the year. That is an alarming total for the young shortstop.
Yeah, he's a good-looking young talent, and with the bat he's been very good. But you know, once in a while this is going to happen to even the very best. The problem is, as you say, 16 errors now, and that's your key spot at shortstop. You've got to make that routine play. But there's so much to talk about the Houston Astros as you ask the question. When it's all said and done, positives certainly outweigh anything else you could or should look out at this point.
That's 7 errors in the last 11 games for Semien. And Canha could have saved him by picking that one out of the dirt. Jason Castro, the batter. That strike one to Castro. 225 for Castro. 5 homers, 8 runs batted in for Jason. Castro's hit 3 homers on this homestand. One of those last night as he moved past Brad Ausmus into 3rd place on the all-time home run list by a Houston catcher. Jason has 42. Brad had 41. And now the all-time king, Alan Ashby, still sitting there at 69.
That king will be taken down. It won't take long.
John Bateman had 44. He was second. So you think Castro will be up there surpassing you?
You know, before too many years are gone by, there's going to be a number of guys past that. Jason Castro he's a powerful guy. I know he'd like to have things really come together with the bat this year, and it may happen yet.
The A's have made 44 errors. That is the most in the majors. Second most Milwaukee with 34. 28 unearned runs have been allowed by Oakland. And Hahn has been victimized by several of those. 3 balls and a strike. 7 unearned runs with Hahn in that situation. And that's tied for the lead, and opponents reaching base on errors with 5 too. So Jesse Hahn has been in the wrong spot several times this year. And he throws to first. And with Carter running, Semien had all kinds of time, but sometimes when a player's made that many errors, he tends to think a little bit too much, even on routine plays.
Agreed. You got this coach and that coach and skipper and players coming up and saying, don't worry about it, everything's going to be fine. Well, the more they tell you not to worry, the more you know it's probably reason to worry.
Castro, instead of taking ball 4, took strike 2. He tossed the bat away when the call was made by Jerry Meals.
Not going to evaluate this pitch until now, but as that pitch is just a hair inside. But there have been a lot of good pitches on Jason this year and last that he has argued about. I've been very frustrated about the calls when we've seen them to be in or certainly borderline on the strike zone.
Now Carter will run on 3-2 with 2 outs, and it's a strikeout. That's number 2 for Hahn. It's no runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left, 0-0 after a couple. the software earlier. The Royals are 25-14. The Tigers 23-17, along with the Twins just a half game behind them, and 3 off the lead pace being set by Kansas City. Then it's the Chicago White Sox at 500, and the Indians are 9.5 out.
There are surprises there. Twins probably as much as anybody, not surprised at all with the Royals and Tigers, but the Indians would probably be at least equal to the biggest one. I would have thought the Indians would have gotten off to a good start.
Ball 1 in the dirt to Eric Sogard. We thank the folks on Twitter for correcting that glitch. 256 for Sogard.
Is that your code word for me?
Pretty much. You're all over Twitter.
No, not Twitter, but glitch.
Oh, okay. You want that to be your new nickname?
It could be.
2 balls, no strikes. Kind of a catchy nickname.
It is. Comes off the tongue quickly.
Sogard looks at it. It's 2 balls and a strike. He's hit safely in 5 out of 6 games against the Astros. Pesky hitter. Now it's 3-1 to Eric. Dallas Keuchel's walked 19 now this season, at about 60 innings. He's not happy with that number. 3 balls, 2 strikes. He's pretty demanding of himself.
You know, Tom Glavine wound up in the Hall of Fame, winning 300+ ball games, and he was that type of pitcher, left-hander that spotted it well and worked off the edges, and in doing so, you walk a few.
Carter tosses to Keuchel. 1 out.
Our Pitch by Pitch is brought to you by Steel Dealers, as always. Look back to first hit of the ball game. Billy Burns for the Oakland A's. Dallas paints one, but the paint didn't really hit the mark. He got a strike though, and then the bat for Burns starts, and so they get the appeal strike. 0-2 quickly the count, and then just go ahead and sit down. No chance on that one. Dallas never had to throw a strike in the sequence and got the punch out.
Now with Valbuena in tight at third, it's Burns coming up for the second time. He struck out leading off the game. That's ball 1 to Burns, who had just 6 major league at bats last season. He had come up from AA Midland to AAA Sacramento and then on to Oakland. He's from Atlanta, went to Mercer University. 1-1. His dad was a running back for the New York Jets. Billy was drafted by Washington in 2011 in the 32nd round. Keuchel moves it inside. That takes him to a 2-1 count. Fabulous start this year for Dallas Keuchel. 3rd in innings pitched in the American League when this day started.
But Billy Burns could tote the pigskin once he gets in the open field pretty well.
Yeah, he can move. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He's a good man to keep off base. He's been a base stealer in the minor leagues. Very high percentage, good numbers. Risnick's in right center field for him. He chops one to third base, but foul. There's a rumor today that Ron Washington, former skipper of the Texas Rangers, is about to join the Oakland organization as an infield instructor.
Do say. I wonder how the skip of the A's feels about that.
Not sure. It's out there, but there's been no announcement that we're aware of. They've had major infield problems. Burns strikes out.
A changeup can get strikeouts at times when it's even left right in the heart of the plate, up a bit. It's that delivery of Keuchel. Throws it as hard as the fastball. It comes out in a puff, and you just can't wait long enough as a hitter. Yeah, I think any manager, Brownie, is going to look over his shoulder a little bit when his club is struggling. The A's are in that category. And somebody who has been a successful manager in the major leagues is now brought in as part of your staff.
Marcus Semien got a hit. 2-0 for Keuchel. Semien grounded one between third and short. That's the only hit of this game so far. Glad you're with us this afternoon for day baseball. strike, 2-1. And we have happy birthday wishes going out to Marilyn Blankenship of Kemah. About that car. Marilyn is 81 today, a family friend of Jose Cruz. And an Astros fan for about 50 years. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I got to see Cheo today. For all the Jose Cruz fans out there, he's doing great.
Terry Poole was up here today.
Terry Poole, that's right.
It's old home week. High chop, and that is right there. It was almost a fair ball as Keuchel was pointing to Castro, but it did roll foul. That one went up high, and Castro lost view of it. Check this out.
Watch Keuchel. He'll point and then think, well, I can get there more quickly than recognition.
That looked like an infield hit in the making.
That Bellata cover puts a little too much spin on the ball, and it pulls back.
Grounded to third. Valbuena to his left. Quick throw to Carter. And that is 7 in a row retired by Keuchel in a scoreless game.
Baseball offers incredible savings such as the all-you-can-eat seats at Minute Maid Park, available every game. This incredible deal offers endless savings and scores you a ticket and unlimited ballpark favorites starting at only $35. For more info, visit astros.com/value or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Coming into this 9-game homestand, the Astros were 8-8 here at Minute Maid Park, and asked a lot by the media. All the players were, what's so different about playing here at Minute Maid Park? Why are you guys playing better at the road? No real good answers from anyone. They weren't really sure, but they did know that they wanted to pick it up here at home on this particular road or homestand, and they have done so. Jake Marisnick saying today that it creates an energy here, and we have to continue to build off that, especially with our great start to the season. A.J. Hinch saying he's proud of the way that they've come around and taken advantage of this ballpark. Lots of home runs in those Crawford boxes, guys.
Yep. Marwin Gonzalez, the batter. Thanks, Julia. Marwin takes strike one. 228, 2 homers, 10 runs batted in for Marwin.
Julia's right, though. A lot of the time there is no answer, and you can only get yourself in trouble by starting to manufacture answers.
Well, we're in trouble every day.
It's pure chaos trying to respond to all the stuff about this game.
1 ball, 1 strike. Marwin's 2 for 13 with a homer on this homestand. He connected Saturday night against the Blue Jays. That was his first in 74 at bats. But the 2 shortstops have been functioning efficiently in the absence of former Oakland A Jed Lowry, who's out with thumb surgery. In for a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jesse Hahn looking good in the early going. He's throwing his fastball for strikes 68% of the time this season. In the air, over shortstop into left center field. That's in for a hit and going all the way to the bullpen fence. Marlon Gonzalez into second. Leadoff double, his 8th double.
But the Oakland A's are saying we've seen that before. That looked like Marwin's big double that helped the Astros win a ball game up in Oakland that was part of that sweep the Astros put on the A's. And I think that was as a pinch hitter for Marwin Gonzalez late. Splitting the gap in left center field, that quick bat from the left side.
He's aboard, leading it off. First Astros hit. Jake Marisnick follows, 292, 3 homers, 15 runs batted in for Jake. A 182 homestand for Jake. Came in late in last night's game as a pinch hitter, drew a walk, scored a run. That's strike one. Left-handed hitters have been much more efficient against Hahn, 318 batting average, compared to right-handed hitters, 191 against him. Fegley out to the mound with a runner at second now. Yeah, Marwin had a 10th inning 2-run double, as you said, at Oakland back on April 24th. The Astros winning that game 5-4. That was a game started by Dallas Keuchel. We talked about that earlier. He went 9 innings of 2-hit shutout ball. It was 0-0 when he left. The Astros got 2 in the 10th on Marwin's hit, but then Oakland tied it in the 10th. So Keuchel got a no decision. This one gets by Fegley. And now the wild pitch or pass ball gets Gonzalez to third. He just went out to the mound. And it's ruled a wild pitch by Hahn, his second of the year.
Very blockable pitch, though. You watch Fegley go down and just never quite got there with the body to begin with. Ball not stopped, and such is the makeup of 90 feet.
That brings the infield in tight. A 1-1 count on Marisnick and a runner at third. It's in tight. 2 balls, 1 strike with Jose Altuve on deck. Hahn was involved in the Derek Norris trade going from San Diego to Oakland. He was 7-4 with San Diego last year with a 3.07 ERA. Over first base, into right field. Marisnick with an RBI single to make it 1-0 Houston. 16th run batted in for Marisnick.
Check the box score tomorrow. That is going to be one rope down the right field line. And Jake could stand to get a few of those right about now. Just a little thumber.
Yeah. Caught that one near the trademark, didn't it?
It's a whole lot better than a ball right off the screws hit right at a defender.
A double, a wild pitch, a single. Have the Astros in front. Now it's Jose Altuve who grounded to third. Pitch out, ball 1. Bob Melvin's club falling behind here against the pitcher Dallas Keuchel, who's on his game in the early going. He brought the infield in. Marisnick was able to get it over that infield. Now Houston is hoping for a big inning. Altuve looks at it. It's a strike, and it's 1-1. Astros leave on a 7-game trip after this game. They'll have 4 in Detroit and 3 in Baltimore. And the throw goes over, diving back in Marisnick, who has 9 steals in 11 tries. Since these two teams moved into the same division, the Astros moving to the AL West. The Astros are 8-16 here against Oakland. Another throw drives Marisnick back. The Astros have played 28 of their first 40 games within the American League West, and they're 17-11. The A's are 11-17. There's the way it looks. 5.5 game lead for the Astros on the Angels. The Mariners trail by 8. Rangers 9.5. Oakland 12.5. Slow chopper. Laurie with the throw to get Altuve. Marisnick advancing, 1 out.
That number of this type of at bat for Jose Altuve here on this homestand, especially the last probably 4 games, just kind of rolling over pitches and hitting the little soft chopper on the left side. And he's run like mad down the line trying to beat some out, but just not happening right now. He'll get hot, but I have a feeling he's rather frustrated for the moment.
That would be a normal feeling.
It is. It is. I think his expectations have become rather large.
Luis Valbuena grounded out to the pitcher earlier. Adjusting his batting glove there. Are players allowed to do that now under these speed up rules?
If they're not, they continue to break rules then, because you still see a lot of it.
That's strike 1 to Valbuena. He certainly is off to a powerful start in a Houston uniform. Last year he hit 16 homers for the Cubs, but he had 478 at bats. And that's his major league high for homers in a season. Had 45 long balls and 1,800 at bats coming into this year. That's in the dirt for Fegley. It's 1-1. Very interesting ride through this first quarter of the season for the Astros offensively. There have been times when they have just been clueless. They had 2 games a week apart in which the final 22 Astros were retired in order. And there have been some very potent games. A line shot foul. 1 and 2. It's been a wild ride for them offensively, but the pitching has been steady. And it's all added up to 26 wins and 14 losses.
You know, we made some, just for fun, comparisons with the 38 Yankees and with the 76 Cincinnati Reds, the big red machine. Watch out, Duck. Get some hands on there that can handle the baseball. But I doubt that you'd have stats like you just mentioned. 22 retired in a row against those clubs, the 38 Yankees and the Cincinnati Reds of 1976. So this team, the Astros, is quite different from those clubs.
Very unusual team. 2-2. Leading the majors in homers, leading the American League in steals, and yet striking out more than anybody. In the American League, the Cubs have actually struck out more.
Their pitchers can't hit a lick.
That's a factor. Semien sneaked in behind Marisnick there at second. Fouled away. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, for the Astros, they've done what they've needed to do in many of these games. If it required great pitching, they would win a game 3-2 or 2-1 sometimes.
Isn't that the truth? By the way, you were talking about adjusting batting gloves, and the implied issue there is time of game. The last couple of games against the Oakland A's, 315 and 321. So something's not clicking in terms of speeding up these games here in this series.
That's ball 3. It's 3-2. Well, there have been numerous walks.
Yeah, that's probably the larger factor.
And then last night, there were a total of 21 hits in the 6-4 Houston win. 11 by Houston. A lot of long counts. Valbuena shoots one up the left field line, slicing and going into the corner, but foul. He doesn't get many balls there that are fair.
He's been really good as one of those left-hand hitters trying to take advantage of the Crawford boxes. He's got a rather unique brand of power where he can pull it and really get to it, but he can also do that. Those are the begging moments while you're going down the line. Stay fair, please.
Looked like a double and an RBI had it stayed fair.
If you are not a begging person, imagine yourself in that box and hitting that ball. You'll suddenly turn into a beggar, I assure you.
This will be the 8th pitch to Valbuena. In tight, and he coaxes a walk. That's his 12th walk of the year. That's the other thing about the Astros. They're second in drawing walks. So, you know, we've been trying to figure all these numbers out offensively, and it's really kind of ridiculous. Their record is all that matters.
You know, you can draw walks. Just me trying to figure the game out a little bit and get on base. But if you don't have people getting hits to drive in runs, whatever type of hit it might be, and the Astros have low batting averages, lowest in the major leagues right now as a team, but they do hit the home runs. It's hard to figure sometimes how you score the runs despite the base runners on the walks, but they're getting it done.
They are making it work. They're hitting .231 with runners in scoring position. George Springer, the batter, runners at first and second, 1 out. He struck out looking on a 3-2 pitch in the first. Marisnick takes off for third. Here's the throw from Phegley. It's there early, and he is out on the tag by Laurie. Caught stealing for out number 2. Valbuena stayed at first.
You want to see perfection for a catcher in firing out a guy at third base. Watch this. Coming out and just putting it on the money. Can't do it better. Mr. Josh Phegley, you win the award on that one.
That's the third time Marisnick has been caught in 12 tries. The pitch was a strike to Springer. And it's 0-2. Big play by Phegley.
Yeah, you clear out, you come behind the right-hand hitter, and then make a perfect throw. That's all you have to do. Jake's probably saying, what happened on that one?
Evan Gattis is on deck. And the throw goes to first. Valbuena coaxing it. The A's have just placed Drew Pomeranz on the disabled list with a shoulder injury today. He was their starter in the opener of this series Monday night. He had to leave in that 5th inning with that injury. Springer's down on strikes to end the Houston third with 1 run scoring on 2 hits and a man left. It's 1-0 Astros after 3. Marwin Gonzalez. Meanwhile, Josh Reddick and his old buddy Orbit have been reunited for this series. Orbit, though, has a way of irritating Josh with his shenanigans.
A nice payoff never irritates anybody, does it?
No. Good-natured Josh playing along with the routine. And now he leads it off in the 4th inning. All business this time. He struck out in the 1st. Strike to Reddick. Dallas Keuchel has been the best pitcher in the majors this year, according to the statistic WAR. 2.6 is his WAR rating. Wins above replacement. No balls, 2 strikes.
That song from the 70s takes on an entirely different meaning, doesn't it?
A lot of things from the 70s have taken on different meanings now.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
1 and 2. Let's bring back the leisure suits sometime. Out to left field. Backing up Rasmus. 1 out. That's the first fly ball out for Keuchel.
Today's league leaders are brought to you by your local Honda dealer. Dallas Keuchel, league leaders with ERA and WHIP. Dallas Keuchel is the man right now, and he wants to stay there. And I think that's part of that attitude. Look at how far he's come since 2012. But that attitude right now is he wants, and he said it recently, he expects to be perfect every time he goes out there. And anything less, I think, probably just irritates, gets under his skin.
Billy Butler takes that one to ball 1. Have you ever heard Dallas Keuchel say, I want to lead the league in WHIP?
I imagine those words have never been uttered by anybody with any legitimate chance to do so.
I want to be the all-time WAR leader.
Yeah, does the agent go in and negotiate a contract based on WHIP? Probably when his guy went 7 and 18, maybe so.
1 and 1. In tight to Butler. It's 2 balls and a strike.
But it's a great stat. It really tells you a lot about how a guy pitched.
It is a good stat. Keeping men off base. The objective. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Last time out, Dallas faced the hard-hitting Toronto Blue Jays, and he used the changeup quite a bit in that game.
Really became his go-to pitch. But you can see from game to game it's an adjustment, and therefore looking at stats about, well, last game he utilized this percentage of versus the game before. I think a lot of times what you're talking about is feel in a game, and the feel changes.
Marisnik is in right center. Butler takes, and that's ball 4. Second walk for Butler.
And I think the feel right now is disappointment. I think Dallas feels like he painted on that pitch.
Well, he had come inside and wanted to go away, and that didn't work out for him. Second walk for Dallas.
I want another baseball. I want one that can be seen. Let's see, did he get the corner or not? Nope. No, so you can hope out there all you want. You're not going to get too many of those.
Brett Laurie bats. He came up with 2 on and 2 out in the first inning and bounced into a force play. Now Marisnik is moving several steps toward left center. Line drive off Valbuena's glove. A hit up the left field line. Marwin Gonzalez tracks it down, and Butler advances to second. Good hustle by Gonzalez, because there was an opportunity there for Butler to get further than second, but he's not fast. So it's first and second and 1 out.
Well, the effort by Valbuena holds it to a single rather than the double in the corner. See Dallas Keuchel with a little body language there.
Yeah, he wasn't happy with where that pitch wound up. Right there in the hitting zone. Valbuena got leather on it. Now first and second, 1 out for Fegley. Fegley hit a grounder to third earlier. There is strike 1 to him. The Astros are second in the majors in getting ground balls per fly ball ratio, and they have 3 of the top 10 ground ball pitchers in the league: Keuchel, Scott Feldman, and Roberto Hernandez. Line shot looping into left field. Butler to third base, and the bases are loaded with 1 out on the Fegley single. So now a couple of balls have been in the air here off the Oakland bats in this 4th inning.
The latter of the two, no fault of Dallas Keuchel's. Looked like the changeup that left Fegley out in front reaching, but he got it on the bat enough to be able to hit it into left field. In fact, not even a strike. Major league hitters, they are a pesky bunch.
Mark Canha comes up with the bases loaded, 1 out, having grounded to Keuchel earlier. He's from San Jose, California, went to Cal Berkeley, 26 years old, drafted by Miami. He looks at ball 1. Got off to a very nice start first few weeks. A Rule 5 draft choice. Keuchel deals, and it's 2-0 to Canha with Greg Gentry on deck. It's Billy Butler at third base. Brett Laurie's the runner at second, and Josh Fegley resides at first base.
Not a good spot to be in when the bases are loaded and you fall behind 2-0. That's where you've got to throw a strike, but you've got to do it in a kind of a crafty manner.
Canha fouls it away. 2-1 now.
Nothing crafty there, though. Keuchel makes a good quality pitch. Comes with the fastball at 90.
This is the latest the Astros have been in first place since May 22nd, 2004, when they were 24-18 and leading the NL Central. Foul back, 2 balls, 2 strikes. The last time the Astros had a 5.5 game lead atop their division was September 24th, 2001.
Guys, just thinking, what if the Astros hang on and they play quality baseball all the way, go wire to wire, and win the division? Even in that scenario, how close will this 25-man roster look to the one that gets to the finish line? You know, there could be a number of changes.
Could be. There are certainly several minor league players pushing for promotion, but this club is playing awfully well right now. Now it's a full count. Big pitch coming for Keuchel with a 1-0 lead in the 4th. Canha hits a bouncer. Keuchel will come home for the force play to Castro. Then on to Carter, safe at first. Two outs now, and Gentry will bat.
Well executed, and yet I would say maybe a tad tentative. Watch Keuchel here, just making sure to get it done properly. And I think in the end that possible nano beat might have cost them the double play opportunity. No, there's no fault laid on the play. You want to make sure you get the lead out. That's always the key. But no shot at the double play.
That gives Craig Gentry a chance with the bases loaded and 2 outs. He grounded back to Keuchel in the 2nd inning. This roller goes to shortstop. Marwin Gonzalez with the toss to Altuve. Out of bases loaded, 1 out trouble on a couple of grounders. Keuchel puts up a 0 on the 4th. 2 hits, 3 men left, and it's 1-0 Houston.
offers great matchups, including the Yankees, Tigers, and Dodgers. Be there for the anniversary of Biggio's 3,000th hit, Biggio Weekend, and more. To purchase tickets, visit Astros.com/Biggio Hall of Fame, HOF, or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Number 7 has been out a lot this year. It'll be quite an event in the month of July as he's inducted into the Hall of Fame at Cooperstown. Evan Gattis comes up in the home 4th inning. 1-0 Houston. He hit a fly ball to left in the second. The Fresno Grizzlies have the hottest offense in minor league baseball, Ash. They're 22-17.
Could have told you that.
Line shot goes foul. There's strike 1. Yes, you could have. You follow this stuff. They had 10 extra base hits and a 12-2 thrashing of El Paso last night. They went 6-2 on an 8-game road trip to Albuquerque and El Paso. Now they're back home in first place in their Pacific Northern Division of the PCL. Flared out to shallow right field. Sogard with the catch. 1 out.
Chris Carter, despite the low batting average, has been a key component of what's gone on here on this 6-2 homestand. That was a huge home run the other way, 3-run job. And don't minimize this one. You even saw the look on Chris Carter's face as he called the play-by-play. Oh my goodness, look at this shot. So he still swings the big bat.
He's on deck. Colby Rasmus grounded out earlier. Strike 1 to Colby. Domingo Santana hit a 2-run homer last night for the AAA Fresno Grizzlies. He has 10. Sogard over to Canna. 2 outs for Hahn. And Carter comes up. He reached on the error in the second inning. Matt Dominguez went 5 for 5 with a double, a homer, and 2 runs scored last night.
Good for Matt. It's been kind of a slow start with the bat this year.
John Singleton had 4 hits. He's hitting .282 now. Carlos Correa hit his first AAA homer, 2-run shot. Bobby Grossman had a 2-run homer. A lot of hot hitters there. They're fighting to get here, Ash. There's ball 1.
Boy, it would seem so. And it's resulting throughout the Astros minor league system in a lot of wins.
Carter fouls it back. It's 1-1.
It's a good swing by Chris.
Barry Zito will be facing Nashville Sounds in the series opener for his club.
Now he's just a batting practice pitcher these days, right?
Amazing. Expect to see him up here again, don't you?
These guys just want to keep it going.
Strike makes it 1-2. That should be a fun matchup tomorrow in Detroit. Scott Feldman and the lefty David Price. Ground ball in the hole. Simeon backhands. Throws low again, and this time Canna digs it out. And that is an 8-pitch 4th inning for Hahn and a 1-0 lead for Houston.
is offering a free youth baseball and softball camps this summer at the Astros Urban Youth Academy. These week-long camps are for kids ages 7 through 17 and begin June 8th. Visit Astros.com/UYA to sign up today. Guys, Chris Carter has been getting a lot of love from A.J. Hinch here recently about his defense. He looks more comfortable over there. He obviously feels more comfortable over there after getting a lot of reps here so far this season. But he's had some great digs over there first. The heads-up play a couple of nights ago to start that double play. Some really impressive things, and the Astros are liking what they're seeing from him.
Rich Dower, the infield coach, working hard with him to get that improvement. Thanks, Julia. There's ball one to Eric Sogard, who grounded out first time up. Keuchel pops that one upstairs and falls behind. 2 balls, no strikes with Burns and Semien to follow. Bounce on one hop. That's an easy one for Carter. Out number 1 in the 5th.
Yeah, I think for good reason the comments Julia has along with A.J. Hinch on Chris Carter at first base. A lot of times what we hear about a guy defensively is he's killing this club. He's really hurting the club in these ways. There hasn't been one of those comments, and rightly so, with Chris Carter defensively this year.
9 ground ball outs for Keuchel of the 13 so far. Burns has struck out twice. He's not biting, and it's ball 1. The Rangers have announced that Josh Hamilton is headed back to AAA Round Rock, and he will rejoin them. He could be back for a 3-game series that starts Monday when Texas is at Cleveland. 1 ball, 1 strike. You know, you talked about the roster makeup of teams now compared to later on in the pennant race. That is one difference maker if he plays the way he did in his heyday at Texas. For that club. 1 and 2. And all clubs, of course, will be having those discussions about roster changes.
Josh Hamilton was MVP material in those days. Can he get back there?
That's line to left field. Colby Rasmus comes in to snag it. He was ready to move in, and the way Burns swung, he hit the looping line drive, didn't get a lot on it though, and Rasmus knew exactly where to go.
I love the way Colby stalks a baseball. He gets the eyes down as far as he can while he tracks the ball, and just allows him to size up where that ball is going to wind up. Pretty intriguing hitting job right there, but you couldn't see it, but Colby will set those eyes down as he runs and approaches the ball. Just kind of a stalking job.
Marcus Semien's 1 for 2. Colby has had excellent range in left field and has shown a good arm. That's ball 1. This outfield of Rasmus and Marisnik and Springer is terrific with coverage. And has made good throws. Bouncer to Carter. Tossing to Keuchel. 1, 2, 3, 5th inning. That's a 9-pitch frame. 1-0 Houston.
home runs for Jason. Steady hands right to the baseball. And his home runs have been big in the 6 wins here on this homestand. That one just enough to get out. And then last night, insurance that really did help out in that final inning of play. Jason Castro starting to heat up with the bat.
Now it's Castro in the bottom of the 5th inning with the Astros up 1-0. They've been out hit by Oakland 3-2. Oakland has the only error. Castro up for the 2nd time. He struck out on a 3-2 in the 2nd inning of play. That one bouncing for ball 1. Six ground ball outs for Hahn so far. Keuchel has 10. Gonzalez and Marisnik will follow in the Houston 5th. That evens the count at 1-1 as Hahn gets it in there. A.J. Griffin is working his way back toward this starting rotation. But Jared Parker had more surgery on his elbow. Foul ball, 1-2. Oakland's run differential is only -6. That would suggest that the A's should be, under the famous Pythagorean theorem, about a game below 500. They're 13 below 500.
Yeah, it says they should be 20-21. Bob Melvin agrees.
Does he?
He wants that to be instituted now.
Okay. That sounds pretty good from 14-27.
It is quite the difference. Of course, the news on the other side is the Astros, under that same set of rules, would be 23-17. So,
okay,
enjoy it while you got it.
Let's look at one-run records. Oakland is 2-13. Houston is 10-3.
And what does that say? I don't know if I really know. Does it mean fortune has been on your side during that period of time?
Perhaps some of the time. Castro's down on strikes. That's number 4 for Hahn. Fortune and a good bullpen, Ash.
Well, you know what? A good bullpen may be what fortune's all about.
Gonzalez got the first Astro hit. That's a line drive double to left center. He took third on a wild pitch. The infield came in. Marisnik hit a looping line drive to shallow right field for the RBI single. And that is the only run in this game. Bunted in the air and back off the screen. Jonathan VR played shortstop last night. He played third base the night before. And the pattern is that Marwin will play a few games. Jonathan will play a few games at short. AJ said before the game today he wants to work VR into some outfield play. Marisnik will be next.
Yeah, that becomes pretty sticky, though, I would think, when you've already got Preston Tucker and then name the other guys.
Yeah. Foul ball back. No balls, 2 strikes.
And I could see the logic of saying Jonathan VR at some point becomes an outfielder, maybe utility, working everywhere. But again, on this club, it's hard right now finding enough playing time for all the guys that are listed as outfielders.
Altuve's hoping to bat here in the home 5th inning. Off the plate for a ball. It's 1-2 for Jesse Hahn. Last time out he had a no decision against the White Sox. He faced 8 batters in the first inning. Wound up allowing 4 runs for the ball game. 1-2 the count. Scott Feldman and David Price tomorrow, 11:30 for Astros pregame. before the opener from Detroit. Then it's Colin McHugh and Alfredo Simon Friday night. Lance McCullers and Kyle Lobstein Saturday afternoon. In the air, and there's Burns moving over. 2 outs. Sunday in the finale at Detroit. Another 11:30 pregame showtime for Roberto Hernandez and Anibal Sanchez. Victor Martinez just went on the disabled list for the Tigers. He's had a hard time after left knee surgery over the winter. Marisnick with the RBI single in the third. 1 for 1 in this game.
Is that possibly a little more good fortune laying out there in front of the Astros?
We'll see. Strike to Marisnick. Tough to play the Tigers, though. They are a very talented bunch. It's 1-1. From 2010 through last year, 6 teams in the majors have had leads of 5 games or more after the first 40 games. 2 of the 6 made the playoffs. Strike 1 and 2.
I guess that says keep your head down and just go about your work, huh?
True. And a really good 40 games, though. Tap foul 1 and 2. Let's see who else has done it. Let's see which ones made the playoffs. Indians, no. Rangers did it in 2012. Tigers did it last year. Tigers had a 7-game lead after 40. Foul back.
Sure, you noticed the Brewers on that list, and it turned kind of ugly toward the end of the season last year, and it's been quite ugly this year.
They've been better since they made the managerial change. Greg Counsell. Let's see what the Marlins do now. That's a more controversial manager change.
I've seen a lot of times where managerial changes for a brief period of time seem to have an impact, but then when it's all said and done, none whatsoever.
Dan Jennings coming down from the general manager post to be the skipper. Marisnick's down on strikes. That's 5 for Hahn. It's 1-0 Houston after 5. At Southwest.com. Here at Minute Maid Park, the roof has been closed for most of this homestand. We've had a lot of rain in the area. The race has gone on. A little stumble there. And it's 1-0 Astros as we move to the 6th.
Keep those knees up. That is the key.
Yeah. Everybody in here staying dry. There is not any rain presently in the downtown area, but it could be on the way. Josh Reddick is 0 for 2. Shoots one to center field. Marisnick backing on it. One pitch, one out for Keuchel. Marisnick was off and moving very quickly when that ball left the bat. He gets good jumps.
Hard hat wearing area only right there.
The A's against left-handed starters this season are 1-8. Billy Butler, who's walked both times, takes a strike. Ike Davis is on the disabled list for the A's right now. It's 1-1, but quite a different team than the one they had last year that went to that one-game wild card playoff with Billy Butler's Kansas City Royals and lost it. The A's won 88 games last year, and they're sitting on 14 wins right now to the quarter pole of the season. Bob Melvin, though, has managed 3 straight playoff teams. He was manager of the year in 2012. Pass to diving Carter up the right field line, and Butler's aboard for the 3rd straight time with an opposite field single. 4 hits for Oakland, all singles.
Carter's been good down there, but you can only do so much. No way to get to this ball. And no way that Billy Butler is going to challenge George Springer.
Butler's aboard and Laurie's the batter. Red 1 for 2 with 5 hits in this 3-game series. Marwin Gonzalez and Jose Altuve set up for a double play. A line shot foul. Strike 1 to Laurie. The Astros are 14-2 in games started by Dallas Keuchel and Colin McHugh. Looped into shallow right field, and that lands for a hit. Butler takes a look at Springer, who gets to the ball, and Butler will get to second on the Laurie single. First and second, one out now for Fegley.
Talk about station to station baseball. You would think on this little thumber going down the right field side that the base runner could move on into third base. Billy Butler was frozen until this ball was just about to land.
Yeah.
Seems like instincts would kick in a little more than that.
His nickname is Country Breakfast.
Well, that provides one instinct.
Okay.
Not sure what it is, but I'm hungry.
Josh Fegley is 1 for 2, a single to left field in the 4th. Billy's not fast.
Yeah, fast and reading that ball, probably 2 different things. Yeah.
Excellent point. Line shot toward the right field corner, foul, and there's strike 1. You're talking about what you said, getting a jump, reading the ball off the bat and realizing it's going to be a hit. And a lot of guys who aren't fast can go first to third on a ball like that.
And then in a 1-0 ball game here in the 5th inning, that 90 feet could mean all the difference in this game when it's all said and done.
Could be very big. Keuchel escaped bases loaded, 1 out, trouble in the 4th. Fegley's hit loaded the bases. Now this drive to center field brings Marisnick over for the catch. 2 outs, and Dallas is getting more outs in the air at this portion of the game. But he's getting them. He's allowed only 1 homer all year, Ash.
By the way, with the extra 90 feet, that might have been enough for a sac fly. I don't know with Butler at third.
Mark Canha will bat. He is 0 for 2. Keuchel is trying to join the ranks of 6-game winners. Felix Hernandez is the only member of that club in the American League. Strike to Canha. There are 2 6-game winners in the National League, Michael Wacha of St. Louis and Bartolo Colon. Ground ball off the mitt of Carter. It's on into right field. Here comes Butler. Springer will not make a throw, and it's a 1-1 ball game. So Butler does wind up scoring the run. Canha with the ball off Carter's mitt. He tried to backhand it, failed to come up with it.
Yeah, this is one of those base hits that you wonder if it could have just been knocked down. Clearly a run would not have scored. Looked like maybe a little tricky hop ate up Carter, and that's all it comes down to.
Ruled an error on Carter, his third.
Oh, that's a toughie.
Butler scored the tying run. Laurie went to second on the error by Carter. Bringing up Craig Gentry. Gentry's 0 for 2. Looking at ball 1.
Beneficial error for Dallas Keuchel.
Yeah. Because if it's an error, then all runs will be unearned in this inning. Ground ball to shortstop. Marwin Gonzalez with the throw to Carter for out number 3. 1 run scoring on 2 hits, 1 error, and 2 men left. It's 1-1 in the 6th.
There are a number of guys thrown out, and Jason Castro was involved in a couple of the plays at home plate. You see both resulting in outs. That one was challenged. Altuve tried to score on a would-be wild pitch, thrown out on a stolen base attempt, and then held the glove in there. Get Billy Burns on a stolen base attempt. Today it's just been nolo contendo on that one.
Now it's a 1-1 game, and it's Altuve leading it off in the home 6th. He's 0 for 2. 2 grounders to third. Now a pop-up. Eric Sogard underneath. And that's out number 1, and 8 in a row retired by Jesse Hahn. Luis Valbuena will be next. Bob Melvin challenged that call at the plate we saw last night. Castro tagging Laurie, and he lost the manager's challenge. Then the play on Altuve at second base came up in the late innings, and he did not have any more challenges.
Are you sure?
but he persuaded the umpires to review it, and they overturned the call on Altuve. There's a strike to Valbuena.
Yeah, it's intriguing because the umpires have the prerogative to go check a play, but they weren't going to do so until Melvin kind of encouraged them to make that review.
No balls, 2 strikes. And the umpires decided to review it and change the call. Valbuena backs away. The Astros have 2 hits. Oakland has 5. Each club with 1 error. Foul tip strikeout. That's number 6 for Hahn. Two outs in the inning, and Springer bats. He has whiffed both times. This is Hahn's strikeout high in a game for the season. Laurie moves closer to the line on Springer. That pitch is upstairs. Ball 1 on George with Evan Gattis on deck. It's 2 balls, no strikes to George Springer. Wednesday afternoon crowd watching the finale of the homestand here in Houston. That one goes foul. 2 balls, 1 strike. The Astros will be gone for a week, and then they'll come back home. The Orioles and White Sox will be coming in. Springer takes it. Now he has a 3-1 count. Houston's hitting .211 at home this season, and averaging a little bit over 3 runs per game, but still has a winning record of 14-10. Springer hits one into right. A 2-out single for George, and he reaches for Evan Gattis.
Every hit's a good hit, no question about it, but on a 3-1 fastball, and kind of talking about this on a lot of at-bats for George, is this where the barrel wants to get to that ball inside part of the plate? And it just feels tentative right now for George, but take every hit you can get.
That's hit number 3 for the Astros. Hahn had retired 9 in a row after walking Valbuena in the 3rd. Gattis has flied to left and popped to second. And Springer dives back in. George has 10 steals in 11 tries. He's tied for 3rd in the American League in stolen bases. Coco Crisp might miss the next series with a neck injury for Oakland. He came out of the game with that injury last night. He's day to day. Outside to Gattis, ball 1.
That stolen base game for the Astros has slowed down quite a bit here recently. In fact, the last stolen base for George Springer came back on the 4th of May.
Gattis calls time, backs away. Colby Rasmus is on deck. The A's have left 7. The Astros have stranded 2. Goodbye to this one. 2-run homer, Evan Gattis, and a 3-1 Houston lead. That's number 8 for Gattis. 24 runs batted in for Gaddis to tie Jose Altuve for the club lead.
You know, you live and die by the long ball, but there is sure a lot of life in this club. Two-out little single by George Springer leads to this. And that's the second time we've seen that very same look on the homestand for Evan Gaddis, where he knew he got it, just dropped the bat and looked toward maybe the first base dugout and then headed on down to first.
Now Rasmus, this crowd is buzzing. Edward Mujica warming up for the A's. Gaddis has put a charge into it. Some electricity buzzing through Minute Maid Park after that swing of the bat. Ball one to Rasmus. That's what he can do with his awesome power. Inside for a ball. 2-0. He hits tape measure shots. Rasmus pulls one up the right field line. It goes out of play. That'll be a double for Colby. It hopped over that short wall. Colby with double number 8 of the season. 3 straight hits with 2 outs off Hahn.
Evan Gaddis got the pitch he wanted. He's a man who knows when he got it. And the majestic shot comes right at a great time for the Astros.
Kurt Young, the pitching coach, is out to the mound. Gaddis now has 7 homers in his last 23 games. Now right-hander Dan Otero has started to throw. And it was going along so well for Hahn. His club had tied it in the top of the inning. He retired the first 2 very quickly. Altuve on 1 pitch on a pop-up struck out Valbuena. That meant 9 straight had been retired by Hahn. Springer went to 3-1, got the single through the right side. Gaddis ripped the homer. Now Rasmus with a double is aboard for Chris Carter. Carter's 0 for 2. This will be the 100th pitch of the game for Hahn. Foul ball by Carter. There's strike 1. This club can really be explosive. It can go along just like this game. 9 in a row set down, and then something big happens. Somebody makes a loud noise with a bat. That was home run number 61 for the major league leading club. This one skips by the catcher Fegley, and the wild pitch gets Rasmus to third base.
Apparently the Astros have 4 players already on a pace. Of course, the paces are tough to keep, as we talked about, but paces to hit 35 to 40 plus home runs on the year. Those are big numbers.
That's a good quarter season. Carter is picking up the pace himself. Carter takes 2-1, and it's the distribution. Valbuena with 10. Gaddis has 8 now. Rasmus has 8. Carter with 7. Springer with 6. Castro 5. So it can break out in a lot of different places in this lineup.
So you start stretching it to Springer and Castro, as you say, and you're talking 20 to 25 home run paces, even 30. And yeah, it's just really intriguing to see what this team's doing with the long ball.
And Altuve has 5. That's 7 of the 9 in the starting lineup with 5 home runs or more for Houston. And that's a pace for 20 or more. That's a walk to Carter. The home runs are helping with the walks as well. Astros second in the league in drawing bases on balls. That's number 2 of the game for Hahn. And Castro bats. Castro has whiffed both times today. Astros are really shrugging off these strikeouts. go on about their business.
You know, when you talk home runs, 61 bombs, as you say, Brownie, for the Astros. Second best in the American League in terms of home runs for a team. Seattle at 50.
Castro takes ball one. We go to Julia Morales.
Hey, Brownie, just chatting what you guys were talking about there in the home runs. We asked AJ Hinch about this last night, and he was even asked, does it surprise you that guys like Rasmus Valbuena are the guys leading your team in homers? And he said he always thought it was possible. You can basically draw out of a hat just a name to see who would lead this team in long balls. And the guys are saying that the home runs come in bunches, and that's definitely contagious when you're hitting home runs like the Astros are doing.
Well, we sure are seeing it on this homestand, Julia. The count goes to 2-0. The Astros have hit 16 long balls. This is the 9th game on the homestand. They've unloaded 11 long balls on Oakland pitching. This is the 9th game between the two this year.
Just to expand the comparison a bit, the White Sox on the dark side last in the league at 23 home runs for the club.
They have 23?
23. So, I mean, that's how dim the lighting can get with the long ball.
3-0. I have Jose Abreu, Odiseo Garcia. Some good hitters on that club. Shot on the ground. Sogard is there. Throws out Castro. The Astros rally. 2 outs, nobody on. Springer single. Gaddis sends one a long way to left center field. 3-1 Houston after 6.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and more. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. Visit MLB.com for your details.
Dallas Keuchel takes a 3-1 lead to the 7th inning. Eric Sogard is the first man up. He is grounded out both times. The Keuchel deal, strike one. The A's got an unearned run in the 6th inning off Keuchel, with Carter being charged with an error on the Mark Canha grounder, and then Butler scoring on that. That one's a single up the middle into center field. Sogard hits his way on, leading off the 7th. Hit number 6 for the A's.
Little guy's not a bad ball player at all.
Billy Burns is coming up. Burns has struck out twice. He's hit the looping liner caught by Rasmus in left field. Lefty Joe Thatcher and right-hander Pat Neshek are warming up for Houston. Keuchel's at 93 pitches. He delivers ball 1. Astros, of course, are getting more and more media coverage because of their 26-14 start. In for a strike. It's 1-1. Dan Szymborski wrote a column on ESPN about the Astros.
What's he got to say?
He's impressed. Talking about their chances to complete the deal and win the AL West.
Stunned and mortified.
Altuve to his left. Takes the out at first. Burns retired. Sogard to second, 1 down. It would have been a very tough spin move and throw back behind him to get that force out on Sogard.
Of course, Burns runs very well. He's erased. But yeah, that would have required everything clicking right.
Takes the out right in front of him, and it's Semien batting. Semien 1 for 3. Yeah, they're asking if this is a mirage the Houston Astros are presenting. There's strike 1. It's been interesting stuff to take in, hasn't it?
Some mirages last over 6 months, don't they?
Can. Keuchel, you know, because of his ERA 1.87, and it was quite a bit lower than that, certainly deserves a lot of attention. Last year he wound up the 7th best ERA in the American League, 2.93. He worked 200 innings. He was 12-9. He's taken it to a higher level so far through this is start number 9 of the year.
Oh, we were talking about that game back in Oakland that he started when Marwin Gonzalez had the big pinch 2-run double. Gave the Astros the lead. The game got away. Keuchel didn't get the W. He's had 2 or 3 of those already this year.
Up the middle, Marwin gobbles it up. Throws to Carter. Good play. 2 down. Sogard to third base.
Now, Marwin doesn't get a lot of credit for having real strong range, but he ranged wide to his left on this play. Very smoothly as well. He's been an accurate thrower of the baseball.
13 ground ball outs for Keuchel. This will be his 100th pitch. Josh Reddick is 0 for 3. Well, the Astros didn't reach the 26 win mark last year until their 61st game. There's a strike to Reddick. Reddick takes it, and it's a 1-1 count with Billy Butler on deck. Off the plate for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. The Corpus Christi Hooks won again. Astros AA affiliate taking a 6-2 win last night. Vince Velasquez is healthy again. He got his first win. They won 8 in a row. Swing by Reddick. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Hooks are 26-12, and that's their best start in their team history.
2-1 count. Do you come with the fastball the hitter's looking for, or spin it? And Keuchel chose the latter and got Reddick to start that bat.
Reddick takes it, and it's a full count. Left-handed hitters have a 150 average against Keuchel. overall against all hitters, the slugging percentage against Dallas is .236. Fouled away, and the count remains full. The Astros take their Major League Baseball best road record of 12-4 to Detroit tomorrow. Interesting week ahead. Strike three. Reddick is about to crunch the bat over his knee on the Jerry Meals call. And that ends the top of the 7th inning. He is still gesturing at Meals. Bob Melvin comes out to keep him in the game. Marwin Gonzalez with a solid play up the middle. Part of a scoreless 7th for Dallas Keuchel. 3-1 Houston.
Astros all season with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet, guys.
Thanks, Julia. 7th inning stretch for this crowd at Minute Maid Park. 3-1 Astros. Dan Otero comes out of the bullpen for Oakland. Jesse Hahn in 6 innings allowed 5 hits, 3 runs, walking 1, fanning 6. Otero's 2-2. His ERA is 3.38. Josh Fegley with a word for him. The 30-year-old right-hander's from Miami. He went to Duke University and the University of South Florida. Drafted by the Giants in 2007 in the 21st round. He bounced around on waivers from the Yankees to Oakland. Oakland claiming him before the 2013 season. Hahn threw 108 pitches. That's a season high for him. 66 were strikes. Marwin Gonzalez steps up, and the home 7th will begin with Marwin 1 for 2. He doubled, took third on a wild pitch, and scored on the Marisnick single in the 3rd inning to make it 1-0 Houston. They strike 1 to Marwin. Oakland came home with an unearned run in the 6th inning on the error by Chris Carter. Ball hit by Mark Canha to tie it. And Houston got the go-ahead 2-run homer from Evan Gattis in the 6th, his 8th of the year. Ground ball. There's Sogard. 1 over to Canha, 1 out. Marisnick will be next. Jake with the RBI single we talked about in the 3rd, then struck out in the 5th inning. 21,066 is the paid attendance. Finale of this homestand.
Trying to go 7-2 on the stand. A lot of big stories were made of that 8-1 road trip.
Yeah.
This is not too far off if it can play out this way.
Well, and this one was important for A.J. Hinch and company because they had played .500 ball at home for the season when this homestand started. Marisnick with a strike, falls behind 0-2.
It hasn't felt to me as triumphant as that road trip at 8-1 was.
Well, 8-1 was the best 9-game trip in Astros club history, and it was a West Coast trip, which is really rough on a lot of teams. Struck him out looking. Yeah, a lot of confidence was probably built on that trip, Ash.
There were some blowout wins as well. See why Jake Marisnick might have reason to be a little disappointed there. But it probably says something about this team right now. If you can go 7-2 on this homestand and feel like you might be better than you played at times, and really I'm talking about the bat, maybe you're talking about a really good club.
Strike to Jose Altuve. He's 0 for 3. When the Astros get back from this 7-game trip, which starts tomorrow, they'll have the White Sox here a week from Friday night for 3 over a weekend at the end of May. Good time for the fans to come out if they have not had a chance to do so. School will be ending about that time. And take in Astros baseball, and then Baltimore is here for a 4-game set, June 1st through the 4th. Altuve looks at it. It's strike 3, and Otero has a 1-2-3 7th with 2 punch-outs, needing only 8 pitches to keep the score 3-1 Houston. Chevron, care for your car in Detroit. First of a 7-game road trip. It's Scott Feldman and it's David Price tomorrow.
That's a tough assignment going in against David Price, ace of the staff. Hasn't pitched poorly at all this year. 3.40 the ERA and a solid whip. So the assignment's going to be a tough one for Scott Feldman. Just as tough, if not tougher, going up against that lineup, even without Victor Martinez. No easy soft spots in that Tiger lineup.
Now Pat Neshek has come out of the Houston bullpen with a 3-1 lead, moving to the 8th inning. Dallas Keuchel leaving the game after 7 fine innings of work. Neshek, who got the save last night with a 1-batter appearance, is 3-0 with a 2.87 ERA. That 1 save coming last night. He has 10 holds and good career numbers against Oakland. Billy Butler leads it off. He has 2 walks and a single. There's ball 1. Keuchel in 7 innings allowed Oakland 6 hits, 1 run, no earned runs. With 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. He threw 106 pitches, 69 for strikes. In tight, 2-0, and with the run being unearned allowed by Keuchel, his ERA drops from 1.87 to 1.67. He's the American League leader in ERA. Neshek, a very important man, and even more so today, getting the 8th inning. Chad Qualls probably is the closer today. It's 3-0. Luke Gregerson is getting the day off. Neshek is working for the 5th time in this 9-game homestand. He's had 10 straight scoreless appearances, throwing a strike, 3-1. Tony Sepp is warming up for Houston. Neshek said he did have time to warm up last night when Gregerson was pitching the 9th. Gregerson faced 5 batters. And he was charged with 2 runs, got a double play ball, and had a walk, so a man left on base for Gregerson when Neshek took over. There's Sip warming up. And it's 3-2, but even though Pat had 6 prior major league saves, that's not a role he often has. Broken bat roller out to Altuve, who's overshifted. And Butler is retired, 1 out.
Nice job coming back after the 3-0.
We'll take a look at Brad Ausmus's starters. He does have some good ones. Miguel Cabrera, 331, 1,034 OPS. Good numbers. Victor Martinez on the disabled list, struggling after pushing Jose Altuve to the final day for the batting title. And Yoenis Cespedes has 5 homers. He's driven in 23. Of course, he's got Ian Kinsler and other fine players. Brett Lawrie fouls it back. There's strike 1. That one almost went up to Steve Sparks in the Astros radio booth. Laurie's 2 for 3.
Was that the death to all things flying?
Yeah, it was. Nobody was about to make a play on that one. Lawrie foul tips that one, and he's behind 0-2 in the count. Neshek really becomes an important guy with the flexibility he brings to the bullpen. Usually a setup man, but last night was his first save since last September 14th against Colorado. He's 2nd in the American League in holds. One ball, 2 strikes. And he said usually when he does get the call for a save, it's on very short notice. Something breaks down, and he was able to come in, get that final out. On Burns, striking him out last night. Stephen Vogt comes out to the on-deck circle. Fegley is due up next. It's 2-2. Vogt will bring a potent bat up against Neshek, or maybe Sip. We'll have to see how A.J. Hinch plays it. He could bring in a lefty to try to neutralize Vogt. Now it's 3-2. And probably if Lawrie gets on, it will be Sip, because Vogt would be representing the potential tying run in that instance. Neshek has not walked anybody in his 16 innings of work. Takes a little walk here. Batting average against him is 185. In the air, but out of play. And it becomes quite often a matchup game, and A.J. Hinch has done that. If Neshek does get Lawrie, then he might be facing Vogt. Vogt would not be representing the potential tying run in that situation. The Astros have their 2-3-4 hitters due up in the last of the 8th. In the air, and the left fielder Colby Rasmus ranges over toward the corner, up against the wall. He leaps, and it's going to be in play for extra bases. Lawrie around second. Rasmus unable to corral it, and that's a double for Lawrie.
Maybe a catchable ball, but that's a really tough scoreboard there with the wall, and I think any outfielder who has tried to play up against that board would certainly agree. Just that high fly ball. Am I at the wall? Am I shy of it? You really don't know as you make that leap.
Right. Got his glove on it, couldn't hold it. It's a Laurie double, and that will prompt a pitching change. Neshek coming out. Tony Sipp headed in, faced the pinch hitter Stephen Vogt with the score 3-1 Houston. Back in a moment.
With the Kroger Family 4-pack. Starting at only $70, this special family ticket package includes 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 sodas, and a Lot C parking pass. Get your 4-pack for next Sunday's game against the White Sox by visiting Astros.com/value or by calling 1-877-9-ASTROS. I don't know if you can text it in, but give it a try.
Veteran lefty Tony Sipp enters the game with a runner at second, 1 out, and a 3-1 Houston lead. And the pinch hitter Stephen Vogt will be batting for Josh Phegley. Sipp 2-0 with a 0.55 ERA. Has held lefties to 5 hits in 27 at bats. Tony pitched a scoreless inning last night. Gave up 1 hit and had a strikeout. He worked the 7th inning in that game. Vogt is 0 for 3 lifetime against Sipp. Vogt takes, and there's ball 1. Excellent numbers for Stephen Vogt. .310 batting average, 9 homers, 30 runs batted in. He has scored 20 runs. He's walked 21 times with 20 strikeouts. Just terrific strike zone judgment, a .416 on base average, .611 slugging percentage for Vogt. Jammed on that one. He puts it in the air, and it will go back into the crowd. 1-1.
One of the big numbers that really swung toward bringing in the lefty Sipp to face Vogt. Only one of the 9 Vogt home runs hit against lefties this year. Of course, the at-bats are way down. 1 homer and 19 official at-bats against lefties.
Vogt is 0 for 6 in this series with a couple of walks. As a pinch hitter this year, he's 1 for 2. He pulls that one foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Astros in the overshift on Vogt. Phegley was 1 for 3 while he was in the game. The A's are warming up right-hander Evan Scribner. Fouled away. The A's 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position today. And they have been a good hitting team in those situations. .277 for the season.
Kind of an old-time looking player right there. Bare hands right into the pine tar, getting dirty and He's grinding out the at bat. A lot of pacing when you're the manager of a club that's struggling.
Oh, yeah. Vogt has hit 171 his last 13 games. His first 25 games, he was a .372 hitter. He's second in the American League in slugging and on base, tied for second in runs batted in. He hits one foul. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes to Vogt. This Houston bullpen has a 2.24 ERA, second best in the American League. 11 wins and 3 losses. And the Astros have the lead after 7 innings. Their record is 17-1. Struck him out. A very big out in this game.
Sip turns to the slider and gets him. Great location. Boy, and it took all of that. Stephen Vogt just looked like he was going to be on everything that was thrown.
Now it's Mark Canha. He is 0 for 3. Tony Sipp is no day at the beach for a right-handed batter. They're hitting 138 against him. 4 for 29. Strike to Canha. Gentry on deck. Close pitch. He didn't go for it, and it's 1-1. Laurie had the 1-out double off Rasmus's glove in front of the left field wall. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. Sipp, 31 years old, from Pascagoula, Mississippi. Was drafted by Cleveland and he moved along to Arizona and San Diego. The Astros signed him as a free agent just about 1 year ago. Terrific pickup.
And I thought he was one of the most valuable players on the team last year. Of course, Altuve was the guy, but Sipp and also ran in that regard, and he just continued this year.
He's been pitching at AAA at El Paso, and the Astros got him in May, and he made 56 appearances for them. 2-2.
The man can fidget, but he is even better at pitching.
He worked 50 innings last year, and he struck out 63.
Had a whip that we've been talking about today at 0.88. So he just didn't have a lot of base runners.
Now Castro and Sipp talk it over. Gregerson has the most appearances for the Astros, 18. Chad Qualls has 17, and Pat Neshek just made his 19th, so amend that. Neshek takes over the club lead. It's been a hard-working bullpen, and a lot of guys have 13 or more appearances. He's not going, and it's 3-2 to Canha. Showing pretty good restraint on that pitch just off the outside corner.
See the grip? Bit of a change up right there, and just trying to see if anybody was intrigued with fishing.
No fishing there. That comes in, and it's strike 3 call. Great job by Sip. No runs, a hit, a man left. 3-1 Astros, moving to the bottom of the 8th. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. 3-1 the Astros lead at bottom of the 8th inning. Luis Valbuena is in the box. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. They strike 1 for Dan Otero, who had a 1-2-3 7th. In the Oakland 9th, it'll be Gentry, Sogard, and Burns due up. Valbuena fouls it off the screen. 0-2 to Luis. In Venezuela, Otero is working in relief of Hahn. Neshek in 1/3 of an inning allowed 1 hit and no runs with no walks, no strikeouts. Up and Valbuena tried to check and did on appeal to Andy Fletcher at 3rd. 1-2 with George Springer on deck. Evan Gattis due up 3rd. Gattis has provided the difference in this game with a 2-run tie-breaking homer in the 6th. Now 2-2 to Valbuena. The Oakland bullpen, in sharp contrast to the Houston bullpen, is 3-12 with a 4.99 ERA, the highest ERA in the American League. 5 saves in 13 opportunities for the Oakland relievers. Into right center field, Valbuena has a 7-game hitting streak.
Well, let's see if you can tack on a little more here in the 8th. It's that sinking pitch down and away. You can see the effort to catch it was actually going down ground level, and Valbuena gets down there to make solid contact.
Hit number 6 for the Astros comes from Valbuena's bat. George Springer is 1 for 3. Foul back, strike 1. George singled to right field and rode home on the Gattis 2-run homer in the 6th. Valbuena's career high streak is 8, so he'll shoot for that tomorrow in Detroit. He can tie his career best in the big leagues. The A's have out-hit the Astros 7-6. Each club has made an error. Oakland stranding 9, Houston leaving 4. That will one goes foul. No balls, 2 strikes. George Springer, the Astros' first-round draft choice in 2011, was the 11th player drafted that year. George hit .231 last season in the majors with 20 homers. He drove in 51 after hitting .353 at AAA Oklahoma City. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's in for a hit. Then it goes over into foul ground. Valbuena going to third. Springer to second, and the throw is not there. A hustling double by Springer on a broken bat. Good 2-strike hit.
How about that smile? He got absolutely blown up, and I think a lot of pitches are getting kind of deep on George, but if you can get some knocks, you're going in the right direction. Bat is not likely to be used again tomorrow.
It might be bought in the team store, though.
Very well could be. Even George's expression got blown up, but
that one almost cleared the infield.
Yeah. Well, watch him run. Watch him run. This is what I love. When George gets it going, you get to watch him just airing it out on the bases and smiling. I miss it.
High energy.
He can really dig in too when he turns it up to that big gear.
Arnold Leon is warming up for the A's. That's the 7th double for Springer. Is 2 for 4 in this game. Carter, Gaddis, and Springer all hitting below 200, but all showing signs of making a move on this homestand. And now the infield comes in with nobody out, runners at second and third. The Astros up by 2. It's Evan Gattis, who's 1 for 3. A 2-run homer in the 6th. A golden opportunity for him to take over the club RBI lead. He's tied with Jose Altuve right now. Ball 1 with Rasmus on deck.
Evan Gattis, as Brownie said, had the big swing in the ballgame. Came in the 6th inning. No doubter. He knew right away. And we knew a little before that point, but the Astros are loving his power game.
It's 2-0 to Gattis with first base open and nobody out.
Got a chance for one of those big ribby days.
Two balls, 1 strike. Otero flew past it.
Can you have a laugher when you blow it open in the 8th inning?
Not really. That's not enough time to laugh.
You just grind all day long, but you'll take them.
Yeah. Been hard work today. Gattis fouls it back. 2-2. The Astros got a run in the 3rd. A Marwin Gonzalez double, a wild pitch, and a single by Marisnik. Then they didn't get any more hits until 2 outs in the 6th. So this is what happens quite often with this 2015 Houston club. Periods of dry spells and then some hits bunched together and they capitalize. As a team, that .231 batting average with runners in scoring position won't do a whole lot for fans of offensive baseball, but they have been able to cluster some hits in certain innings along with some walks, and they've been advantageous when other clubs have made errors. Now 3-2, and they've worked some counts, especially recently on this homestand. They've had lengthy at bats.
Of course, it's not like that .231 mark is far off of what they do as a club on the season.
No.
It's just a couple of points away, but yeah, that's kind of who they are right now, a team that doesn't pick up a whole lot of hits.
It works because of the pitching, and there's a walk to Gattis to load the bases with nobody out for Rasmus. Bob Melvin positioning his infielders. We get a pinch runner at first. Jonathan Villar running for Gaddis.
You could see what the tactic was. Melvin was saying go home, so that they in this 3-1 ball game feel that they just can't give up any more runs.
Villar runs with the bases loaded, nobody out. It's Colby Rasmus batting. Rasmus is 1 for 3. So those infielders move in tight. Valbuena, the runner at third. Their objective. Carter's on deck. Ball 1 to Rasmus. Colby's at 208 with runners in scoring position this year. It's his first at bat with the bases loaded this season. 1-1 to Rasmus. Otero is in his second inning of work. Rasmus has 4 career grand slams. 2 balls and a strike. In his career with the bases loaded, he's hit .283. And he has Valbuena, Springer, and Villar in this bases loaded at bat. Now 3-1, and Otero is really up against it.
If you got a dial, you turn that dial as a hitter to dead red, find that fastball and crush it.
Pitch, foul back, and it's a full count now. Otero worked 3 1/3 scoreless innings on Sunday. That was his second outing of 3 innings or more this year. Will tag. There's the catch. It's 4-1 Houston on the sac fly, and safe at second. Villar on the play there. Everybody moves up. Rasmus gets the sac fly for his 17th run batted in.
Look, that's what you do. 3-1 and 3-2, and the pitcher's struggling throwing strikes. He's going to throw you a fastball. Find that pitch, put the barrel on it, make something happen. Colby's been a key cog here recently.
And the number 5 hitter gets it deep enough for everybody to move up. 4-1 lead. Infield stays in for Carter. Chris 0 for 2 with a walk. Broken bat, and that one flies into the seats.
This wood they're sending me just isn't the same. I hit that right on the barrel. Man, it's really dangerous.
Another big opportunity for Carter here. Astros on deck. Could break this one open. Shot to center field. It's a hit. Springer will score. And behind him, here's Villar coming to the plate. 2 runners come home. And Carter does break it open. That gives him 20 runs batted in. And the Astros lead 6-1.
And George Springer loves to create excitement, and he does a lot of that in the dugout. Chris Carter, big swing for the club. It's starting to feel a lot looser on the team. Billy Burns in center field just didn't really come and get the ball and prevent the second run from scoring. It just enabled VR to keep on coming. Springer said, "Come on home."
Now a 5-run lead. Bob Melvin at the mound for a pitching change. We'll be right back. Rookie right-hander Arnold Leon, 25 years old. He just arrived today from the minor leagues. It's his second stint with Oakland this season, coming up from AAA Nashville. And Leon, with the injuries the A's have had on their staff, claiming Drew Pomeranz, who started the game Monday night, necessitating that roster move, comes in now with runner at first, Carter, and Castro will be the batter. Jason 0 for 3. Leon has made one major league appearance. He gave up 2 hits and 1 run.
Pitched 1 inning in the big league, so he gets set to embark upon inning number 2.
Castro's going to try to ruin it for him. Here's ball 1. Leon began the year in the St. Louis organization, and then was traded last year to Oakland for cash. He had been with Saltillo of the Mexican League, born in Culiacan, Mexico. 1 ball, 1 strike. Carter with a big 2-run single now, has 20 runs batted in, so several Astros are really climbing in that RBI department. 3 with 20 or more now. 2 balls and a strike. Will Harris is working in the bullpen. Maybe a chance for Chad Qualls to get a day off. In for a strike, and it's 2-2. Marwin Gonzalez is on deck. Fouled away by Castro. They've been quite a late inning club. Scored bunches of runs after the 6th inning in many games. Got 3 in the 8th last night to help them to a 6-4 win. Castro whiffs. 2 down. Now Marwin Gonzalez. Astros have outscored their opponents after the 6th inning 65-34 from the 7th through the 9th, excluding extra inning runs. Pretty impressive work. Gonzalez 1 for 3. Up the middle, that will go right over the second base bag and into center field. Marlin is 2 for 4. Carter to second base on the 4th hit of the inning.
It's played well. It's been a nice tandem job at shortstop now between Marwin and VR since Jed Lowry went down. And it's such a critical position on any club. You got to get the work done.
They've combined, put together some solid games. Now here's Marisnik. Marisnik 1 for 3. Gave the Astros a 1-0 lead with an RBI single to right in the 3rd inning. Bouncer up the middle. Not fielded by Leon. Here's the play from Sogard. Not on time there. An infield hit from Marisnik. He's 2 for 4 and the bases are loaded.
Sheepish smile. Take it. Grab it. Don't let anybody take it away from you. And he'll get a bunch of the infield hits in his career the way he runs. As you can see, Leon relied upon that let's grab it behind the back style that just didn't work out.
Tough play for Sogard. 5 hits in the inning, and the Astros are batting around, getting Jose Altuve to the plate. He's wearing a size 4 collar for this game. Jose 3rd in the league with 52 hits. He's grounded out twice, popped up, and struck out looking. Fouls it back, strike 1. Gaddis tied him for the club RBI lead when Evan hit a 2-run homer in the 6th. Altuve can get the lead back here. 205 is his career bases loaded batting average with 1 grand slam. Ground ball shortstop. And there's the toss to second. Semi into Sogard. The Astros break out the bats in the 8th inning. Valbuena, Springer, and Carter. And the Astros lead at 6-1 going to the 9th. The 8th inning tally of 3 runs to the 2-run 6th inning when they grab the lead. So now some working room for Will Harris, who comes out for the 9th. 1-0 with a 0.47 ERA for 15 games. He's given up 1 earned run in 19 innings, and the opponent average is under 100 against Will Harris.
I guess you can be proud of those numbers. Feel free.
Talk about fines for this club.
It's a fine. Sip was a fine. Sam Fuld will be pinch hitting now, leading off the 9th inning. He's batting for Gentry, who was 0 for 3. Fuld at 200 for 105 at bats, has no homers, 5 runs batted in. He made that sensational catch, robbing George Springer up on Towles Hill in the 8th inning Monday night. Strike to Fuld. Valbuena's in tight at third base with Oakland trailing 6-1. Houston has out-hit the A's 10-7, each club with an error. Fuld looks at it, and the count's even at 1. Fuld is 33 years old. He was born in New Hampshire, went to Stanford University. Drafted by the Cubs. Will Harris has a 2-1 count. He has not often had 2-1 counts. He has been ahead of the hitters with great consistency this season. That's high, and he's behind 3-1. Tony Sipp in 2/3 of an inning had no hits, no runs with no walks. He struck out 2. And if the Astros win this game, he's one of the key factors. In for a strike for Harris. It's 3-2 now. Dan Otero for Oakland worked an inning in the 3rd, giving up 3 hits, 3 runs. He walked 1 and fanned 2. Bouncer wide of first, just foul. Oh, that was hugging the line there. Chris Carter moving over to play it. Dallas Keuchel could be 6-0 in a few minutes. Tremendous start to the season for Dallas. He's the first Astros starter to go 5-0 or better since Roger Clemens started 2004, 9-0. Fuld takes a leadoff walk.
And now our pitch by pitch brought to you by Steel Dealers. Dallas Keuchel. Let's just continue what Brownie was talking about. He got his first strikeout of the day and also picked one up on Reddick and Burns and on. Dallas Keuchel, unless there's a change in the scoring, we'll have that perfect day without allowing a run. Earned run, that is. Barwin helped defensively. All in all, it was a classic Dallas Keuchel day.
Strike to Eric Sogard. He's 1 for 3. He'll turn 29 on Friday. Billy Burns is on deck. Harris is pitcher number 4. Keuchel going 7. Really helped the bullpen, which has worked hard this season. That's in for a strike. 0-2. A.J. Hinch talked about his pitching staff. 5 starters and 8 relievers. He seems very determined to stick with that mix. The 8 relievers have all been used. Nobody's sitting for long periods of time. Sam Deduno for a while, but the long man will usually have that situation. He's now on the disabled list, and Jake Buchanan has replaced him in that role. Jake pitched a couple of innings Monday night.
Long man gets used a lot when you're on a team that's not winning.
True.
And you play on that winning team, and it's hard to be a part of the winning vibe going on.
Yeah. Starters are not getting KO'd very often. Really good teams. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, the Astros have injured pitchers they're hoping to get back in the coming weeks. Brett Overholtzer, Brad Peacock. Strike 3 call. 1 out. Strikeout number 7 for Houston pitching.
Sogard just takes a fastball right through the gut. As a hitter, you walk back to the bench and you wonder, what in the world was I thinking?
Or why was I thinking?
Yeah, and sometimes that's the best thing to turn off.
Billy Burns is 0 for 4. Ball 1 on the switch, hitting Burns. Marcus Semion's on deck. The Astros have winning records against every team except one in the American League West, Texas. They're 2 and 4 against the Rangers. One ball, one strike. A win today would give them a 5 and 3 record against the A's. Now they'll move on over into the American League Central for one series. 4 games at Detroit and then on to the AL East at Baltimore. Mixing it up outside their division for a while. Foul back, and Burns has a 1-2 count. On this first go around through the AL West, though, they have garnered a lot of respect. A win today would make them 18 and 11 within the division. The Angels, the only other team in the AL West with a winning record. They're 1 game over 500, 20 and 19. Slashed foul. 1-2, and Detroit will provide a very good measuring stick for a lot of people in this upcoming 4-game series, especially with the former Cy Young Award winner David Price starting tomorrow.
You know, we've kind of grown accustomed to who the Tigers are through recent years. They're a little bit different right now with Iglesias shining at shortstop, and then Anthony Gose has really taken over in center field.
Poke to third, Valbuena. High throw. Altuve will take the out at second. He had no play at first on the speedy Burns. 2 outs.
That was a wise choice by Altuve to hang on to the baseball. It's kind of the classic speedy guy, just kind of try to lay the bat on the ball sort of thing.
Yep. Marcus Semien is 1 for 4. Burns at first. He's not being held. It's a foul, strike 1. Well, that 8-1 road trip we talked about earlier out west. And this could be a 7-2 homestand. Those are 2 significant blocks of play for the Astros. They will put them into a very good situation. 0-2. In fact, if they win this one, they're 13 games above 500 for the first time this season. And the fans are ready. One ball, 2 strikes. The support for this team is growing, and attention certainly has grown. Now more and more people want to know, can they continue this for a longer period of time? Their whole mantra is to approach each day and not worry about that longer period of time. From Oakland, they finish a 7-2 homestand. They are 27-14. Nice work in the late innings. Gaddis hit the 2-run tie-breaking homer in the 6th. The Astros tacking on 3 in the 8th. They give a couple of key bullpen members a rest for the 9th inning. And it's a 6-1 final. The Astros beating the Oakland A's today.